So when you're in an intermediate level in English, one of the biggest obstacles that's holding you back is that you keep on translating word by word mentally from your native language to English or vice versa. In this video, I want to tell you why this is exactly what's holding you back from leveling up. Guys, can you believe that there are 2 more months before we enter 2026? And if you've been telling yourself that you're finally gonna get good in English, well, this is your chance. So if you're a professional or an expat and you live abroad, you speak English just fine, but you can never get past the simple stuff, I got something exciting for you. So we're opening 10 spots for our English Sprint Academy coaching and mentorship program that's gonna run from October 19th till December 14th. So this is an 8-week mentorship program where you'll get not only lessons, but a complete system with live group calls, feedback, and accountability. The goal is to finally help you break the plateau, speak more naturally and confidently, and finally build the habits that's gonna make English a natural part of your day. So it's not too late. This is your last chance to make progress before the year ends, but it's gonna be too late if you wait. So if you are ready to finally make this lasting progress, make sure that you apply using the links in the comments down below or description box. Now back to the video. So let's imagine you come across this new English word, sovereignty. So let's say you found it from a movie, from a video, or maybe from a book. You don't understand what it means at all and you can't really guess. So the first thing that you would tend to do is to look up the definition in your native language. So this works sometimes for you to understand the meaning, but oftentimes you stop there. You see the word, you look up the meaning in your native language, and then once you understand, you move on. So this is where it becomes problematic. Oftentimes, when you stop at this point, oftentimes you actually forget the English word altogether. Like sure, you understand the meaning, but only in your native language brain. Your English brain barely gets activated. Let me visualize it for you. So think about it like this. This is your brain. And right now, your brain has 3 containers. The first one is container L1, which is your first language, your native language. And the second container is L2, which is your second language, meaning English. And then the third container, which is the meaning container, is where your brain stores pure understanding. So it's not English, it's not Bahasa Indonesia, it's not any other language, it's just the idea itself. For example, when you think of the word cat, you don't only see the letter C-A-T, and you don't only hear the Bahasa word kucing. What pops up in your brain is the actual image or idea of a cat. That's the meaning container. So to put it very simply, this is basically your understanding of a certain idea or concept without attaching any word in any language. It's just the understanding of the idea itself. So let's say, with our example, you learn this new word, sovereignty. Here's what happens for most intermediate learners. The word goes into the English container, but instead of connecting straight to understanding, the third container, it first gets poured into the native language container. Then only after that, it reaches understanding. So that's a long detour, and you don't want that. But for advanced learners, the word goes straight from the English container into the meaning container, the third one. No detour, much faster, and much more efficient. The problem is that if you keep going through your native language first, you're feeding your L1 container, which makes it stronger, while your English container stays weaker. So if you're a beginner, doing this translation method is actually a good way, because since you don't know a lot of words in English or in your second language, the only way for you to understand a word is through the L1 container, through the translation method. But once you get to an intermediate level, this process will not serve you anymore. This is going to make the process even more inefficient. So the danger comes when your brain gets in the habit of always taking this detour, this long process of finding a word in English, going through the L1 container, and then understanding it. It's almost kind of like your brain is taking the long road instead of the direct shortcut. So what you want at this point is to build the habit to send English words directly into the understanding container, the idea container. This way, your English will become a lot stronger, you're going to recall faster, and you're going to train yourself to stop translating mentally and start thinking in English. Now, when you do this, your brain starts making direct connections in English. It becomes part of your English thinking network and not just a label in your native language. The more you do this, the more comfortable you get at speaking in English with no translating needed. So what does research show about this? Let's take a look. So the revised hierarchical model, or RHM, in psycholinguistics states that lower proficiency learners rely heavily on their native language to access vocabulary. But as proficiency increases, learners can access meaning directly in the second language. So no translation needed. Exactly what we talked about. And other studies also show that as your English gets stronger, the way your brain links and organizes words start to look more like that of a native speaker. Your mental English space begins to fill up. So to put it very simply, using English associations and definitions is not just faster, but this is how your brain naturally processes language, processes English more fluently. I remember when I was still learning Dutch, and I was a beginner at the time, so I used to translate every single word from Dutch to English. And there was this one famous popular Dutch word among English learners, and that is gezellig. In English, you would kind of directly translate that as cozy or nice, you know. So, however, when Dutch people start using it in real life, I would get a little taken aback. It's like, oh, but if you use this word in English, it doesn't fully capture the meaning, you know. And I had a hard time understanding this word for a long time because I always try to understand this word through my English lens, through my English container. So it felt like even though I learned this new Dutch word, it went into my Dutch container, but it didn't stay there for very long. It went into the English container and it felt like whenever I try to use it, I didn't use it the right way because I always try to use this Dutch word through my English lens or through the English container. Only when I told myself to stop understanding it from my English lens and I started linking it to Dutch situations, like, you know, sitting in a cafe with friends or being with family during dinner. Only when I started linking this Dutch word to situations, to the context, did I start getting it. So when I started doing that, the Dutch word stayed in the Dutch container and I started being able to use these words more naturally. And when I started speaking Dutch, I would not have to translate word by word anymore. I still did it, of course, as a habit, but it's a lot less. And once I turn on my Dutch switch, it was a lot easier for me to flow without having to do that mental translation. And this is exactly what you want to do as well. Whenever you learn a new English word, keep it in the English container. So when you do this, it reduces the mental interference from your native language. And over time, you're going to shift from just understanding English to thinking and speaking in English. So from this video, you know what to do now. Next time you see an English word pop up, make sure to find the definition in simple English. Try to connect this word to words that you already know in English and start using it yourself. So thank you so much for watching my video. I'll see you next time in another video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.